it is time for our Players Only segment. As Alex Brown, Lance Briggs in the house with Corey Wootton. Guys, I don't even feel like I have to ask you a question. I just quarterback.
Phenomenal.
Go ahead, AB.
I mean, it's just another day, you know what I mean? With this kind of day I've been expecting, you know? That's what it is. When we drafted a guy like that, you know it's coming. It's just a matter of time. I mean, we haven't given him 4 years to do this. It's his 5th game, okay? He's just getting better and better and better every week. I love to see it. I cannot wait to see how he is mid-year, end of the year, going into next year. I mean, he's just going to keep getting better. So I'm super excited about it. It's a great win against a team.
Yeah, right.
You know?
Yeah.
But you want to go out and whoop them, because if you go out and you win a game, 3 points, you have to kick a late field goal to beat them, well, then everybody's talking shit about you, you know? So
regardless of what the opponent was, it's still like a confidence boost.
100% as far as confidence building for him, getting in the rhythm and timing of throws. Was everything perfect? No, right? He missed some throws early on, especially with the one to Keenan Allen, a couple other throws, held on the ball a little too long. But what I saw was the rhythm and timing for majority of these routes and throws was something that we hadn't seen before. And that's where you see him get confident. And they finally ran the ball again for a second straight time, right? Because the run, what does it do? It sets up the pass.
Well, can I say this, guy? I ask you this question. No, let me answer this question. Because we get everybody at home starting to thinking, well, he's holding the ball too long. He's holding the ball too long. We don't see the end zone copy. So we don't know if the receivers are open or not. So you just wanted to throw it?
There were a couple times, Hogue, when we were watching it, we could see there was visibly receivers open.
There were visibly receivers open.
Stop it. You stop.
No.
He don't.
No, there was one play.
He don't need anybody else on the wagon. He's good. No, I'm just saying, like, every time he holds the ball and he scrambles or he gets sacked.
But there were a few times.
But to be honest, that's part of why I'm excited, because he's still learning on the job. He could still be better than he was today, and he threw for 300 yards.
Absolutely.
Did not turn the ball over.
And Lance still don't like
it. And had 2 touchdowns.
Lance still don't like it.
No, but I'll tell you what, this has nothing to do with that, but I'm a Swiftie who's not a Swiftie right now.
We ain't talking about him.
This week, because
See what I just said? He don't like it. He wanna change and not talk about Caleb to talk about Swiftie.
We focused on Swiftie, all right? And in my opinion, he created for everybody else.
The offensive line.
Right.
The offensive line.
Absolutely.
The offensive line did help.
Absolutely.
I thought.
But that's true.
But when you're playing teams, remember how I talked about when we played 2012, the San Francisco 49ers?
Yes.
They beat the brakes off us. Why? Because they controlled the line of scrimmage, right? They got the run game going, and it was tough.
Yeah,
right?
pure dog.
We're looking at each
Coming
other
downhill.
like, what the heck is going on?
Yeah. Wham here, wham there, counter, downhill.
Exactly.
And with Frank Gore.
When you get the running game going, what does it do? You don't know what they're going to do, right? It keeps you on your heels. So then you're not as good in pass coverage and whatnot. So
it sets everything up.
Correct.
It sets everything up.
So you can't take anything away from Caleb. I thought he had a strong performance, right? Panthers, were they the best team in the world? No. But it's a confidence-building game.
I mean, they did beat the Raiders.
I think the one thing was Shane Waldron.
A little worse.
The first couple of weeks, he really wasn't running the ball. And you're like, you have a struggling offensive line. You got a quarterback that's kind of struggling. Why would you not run the ball? And then all of a sudden, these past 2 weeks, what have we seen? A better performance from Caleb. There's a correlation from the running game to him playing well. And that's not taking anything away from him. It's just how football works, right?
And it's also the way that they're running the ball, too. You know what I mean? Like the way that they ran the ball in the first 2 weeks, you couldn't have done that. Like, I'm not saying you couldn't have done it today and not been successful, but you can't consistently do that. We've seen that over the last 3-4 years. The way that they ran the ball and stuck to the ball, like downhill running game, was impressive to me, and that's something that we haven't seen consistently from our Bears.
I think it's the execution. I like the execution of it. Waldron, I mean, I think he's changed a little bit, but not. He ain't changed his stripes. You know, he is who he is. But the players go out on the field and they execute these run plays, because Swift was nothing even close to what we've seen the last 2 games early on in the season. It wasn't even close. And you're calling, like you got the same guy calling the plays. It's not like you changed that, where on the other side, like you saw Carolina, they couldn't score. You put another guy in there, now they're scoring 30 points a game, right? The last 2 games. So they didn't change Waldron. He's still the same place.
But you saw this from Swift at Philly. You saw this from Swift before he got here. That's how he got the $8 million.
Why? No, but during that time, Philly had the top offensive line, and they blocked, they executed. we executed better the last 2 games. That's why I think you see.
It was also
Swift
a run
having
game
those big games.
it was a run game that suited him too, to give him opportunities.
I also
You're
think
saying the same thing I'm saying.
I'll be a Swiftie with you for a second, Lance, because I think he stepped up his game too. I think even he would tell you that offensive line play calling, whatever. I don't think he played that well too the first couple of weeks. Like
right.
he wasn't making the right reads. He wasn't picking up his feet on a couple. And I'll tell you, because it wasn't just the running today. Did you notice his pass pro on that first touchdown throw to DJ Moore? He picked up that blitz.
He picked up a great
honestly,
job.
he did it again later on a play they called holding on him, which I thought was a BS call. Like that was just he just kind of got run over, but took it and bought the time for Caleb to complete the pass.
Last week he ran a split zone, and the blocking was immaculate up front. However, one of the D tackles had fell into the hole. The ability that Swift had, he jumped over this guy, leaped over him, and then took off after that. That's the player that we signed, the player that can hit the home run. He's a complete back. You know, I don't think, and what we said a lot of times, we're like, hey, I don't think he's a guy that runs as well in between the tackles. I think he's an all-around back.
He's an all-around back. I still don't want him blocking. 2-3 games ago, we had him blocking in front of DJ, and we hated it. So I still hate that. I still hate him blocking. He is a dynamic player out of the backfield. Yep. He's a dynamic player, and he's shown that the last 2 games. I just don't want you to sit up here and act like he's a great blocker now. Don't do that. Don't do that. Where 2 games ago we were killing him because why would you put that guy in there to block? Why would you put Carter to block the defensive end? Like, okay, he picked up a block. Okay, let's calm down a little bit. Like, okay, he picked up a block. All right, he picked up a block. That's it.
But don't you agree from the running game perspective? The last 2 weeks we've seen a lot more in between the tackle runs.
100%.
And I think that's what softens up the defenses, right? When you try to get too much stretch early on, it's this war of attrition. You wear down the opposing defensive line, the linebacking core, and all of a sudden it opens everything up. And that's what we've seen in the last 2 weeks.
While you guys are up here, I want to ask you defensive guys, though. I can't be that mad. They gave up 10 points, whatever. Are you guys concerned about the running defense at all?
No. That you see, what I saw today was I saw us get gashed. All right, we got gashed on a play. That happens. All right, it happens. We know exactly what happened. As soon as I saw the replay, I said there was a D tackle that didn't get across, didn't make that tackle. It is a. Of course, it was. It was. If it was a linebacker, Alex would have been the first to respond and said the linebacker did not get in there.
It was a block back.
Right.
And he's got to cross the face.
He's got to cross the face. He's got to cross the face and make that. You know, but that is so. It's such an easy fix for everybody. I'll just let you guys know. Like it's first it starts with accountability. So when you get on that play, everybody's going to ask. We already know the answer. Hey, and the smart ones jump in front of it. That was me, fellas. That was me.
You come off the sideline doing this.
Yeah, that was me. All right. Well, don't let it be you. All right.
Don't let it happen twice.
Right. And they sealed that up moving forward. It wasn't a problem. You all right? Gashes do happen. They get paid too. They have good players as well.
And you didn't see them. You didn't see them wait to halftime to make that change. You saw that play happen. The Carolina Panthers came back out the next series that they had, tried to run that, it didn't work. All right. And for the rest of the game, they kind of shut that down because it wasn't one of those. We've seen this team adjust at halftime, but being able to adjust within the first quarter, within the second quarter, that's when you're taking that next level or that next step. I thought they did that today.
And they fight too. You know, I'm watching on a play that I think Jaquan was grabbing a guy, might even be one of the linebackers, and Kyler Gordon comes in, and they're about 2 yards from the first down, and he's just pulling them back away.
Oh, yeah.
You know, it's understanding. To me, that's when you guys are at your best, is when you guys really, when the 11 guys understand where the down and distance is, and they care about every yard. You're fighting for every blade of grass now.
I'm going to say this to everybody that thought I was crazy when I said that Brisker is a lot like Mike Brown. I don't think that boy give a damn about his body.
No.
Not a little bit.
I actually wish he did care more.
I think he was out cold. I think he was out cold on that play.
No, ain't no thing.
He was 100%.
He was.
Right?
Oh, he was a little woozy.
He was
a little woozy. And
then hit the ground.
Then his boys came over and they kind of walked him away from there.
He was out.
Oh, he was out. Oh, yeah. I can't wait to see.
There's unspoken protocol for that type of stuff, guys. All right. I don't know how deep we're going to get into that, but
can't do that. But
I thought for sure he was going to end up in that tent.
That hit he put on him.
I did too.
Oh my gosh, he punished that. Then that's a takeaway. And I'm a nitpick a little bit, but when he give the grades, there's only one thing that's for me, and that's the rushing. What you were talking about.
Yeah,
we got to shore that up because this isn't a running team. Like this isn't a good running team, I should say. When you meet those teams that are good at it, you're gonna have an issue.
I'm overall pretty happy with the pass rush so far. I mean, for the amount of time we spent in the preseason and in the summer saying, "Oh, they got to add another pass rusher." Dexter's coming on. Billings has been great, and then Taylor's getting enough of a changeup coming from the opposite side between Darrell Taylor and Austin Booker, who also had a sack late in the game.
He did.
It's enough right now.
Adam, do you realize that right now in the NFC North, there's alone the defenses in the NFC North are responsible for 37 takeaways?
That's because the Vikings are way up there too.
It's
take the ball away, man.
Where the best defense that's been playing in the league is in the North right now.
But then everybody over 500.
It's going to be a battle.
And
all the divisional games for the Bears are in the second half of the season.
Absolutely.
It's going to be crazy.
That's why right now this is so critical.
Yes,
that we not only win but our confidence go up.
Right.
Because when you see those teams, Minnesota and Darnold, their confidence is on 10.
Detroit
got a swag about them.
18 out of 18.
Come on.
Yeah, and Green Bay already think they own us. So hell, we better be ready to go. Shit, we better be ready to go.
Packers up 7-0, by the way.
When it comes down to the way the defense is playing, the offense just has to be able to run the ball, have Caleb just limit his turnovers, stretch the ball down the field when they need to. With this defense, they can win games with this. That's all they have to do.
Take what the defense is giving you. Take what the defense is giving you, and that allows you to use all the weapons that you have. In a sense where you look at let's say the Patriots. You know, one of the toughest things about playing the Patriots back when Tom Brady was there is that there's equal share going across the field. When there's equal share going across the field, defenses have to stay at home. We can't cheat to the right or cheat to the left. You know, but when you have heavy tendencies, when you have a guy that catches the ball, 12 times more than the next guy, we know where to cheat to. You know?
And he's talking about pre-Moss, okay? So y'all don't be texting in talking about, well, my house said, no, don't do that. Don't do that. He talking about pre-Moss, them first 3 Super Bowls. Yeah, you can't even name, don't Google it, but you can't even name them receivers that he had over there. Come on. Don't Google it, boy. That is
and the thing, as a former defensive lineman, he got the ball out so dang quick that it would frustrate the hell out of you.
Yes.
Right? You had to be able to just get your hands up.
Yes.
And you gotta hope that the coverage is gonna hold him buy you a second or two to be able to get home.
100%. I've had the protection from the offensive line slide away from me. And I got a dead shot right at him. And he throw the ball before I get there. Yeah. And it's like, that's how fast he's getting rid of the ball. It's crazy.
Guys, great stuff. Cannot wait to hear Briggs and Brown later as well.
Sure.
Digging the CHGO hats you guys are both wearing too.
We all silly like the mayor.